Good morning and welcome to Morning Java, brought to you as always by our friends at the Get Go Cafe and Market, which is still open.
Essential business.
It is an essential business. That actually should be like a slogan or something.
There we go.
Today's not really a bobblehead. This is the Roberto Clemente nesting doll who is eligible for hand sanitizer, except he has no hands. Look,
That's a shame.
this is because Roberto is that smart that he knew to keep his hands.
Roberto Clemente, famous for not having hands.
That's right. That's right. Look, none of them do as you work your way in. Anyway, tell us about the scene in Bradenton while I do this. Whenever that had to be the strangest thing.
It really was strange.
Maybe even weirder than the hockey scene, because you and I are communicating that day. I'm in Columbus, and you're like, I'm like, Alex, are they still playing? And you snapped a picture for me and sent it. There they are, Pirates and Blue Jays.
For whatever reason, even though they say 4 o'clock, hard deadline, they kept playing a little after 4. Nobody really knew what was going
What are you
on.
doing? Like, and it's just a bunch of minor league guys wearing 78 and whatever else. And
Yeah. Except Cole Tucker hit a ball a mile, which I kind of thought would have been like, okay, let's cap spring right there.
This is the end of the world. Yeah. No offense, Cole.
He had a pretty good spring.
That was
swing.
his third home run,
Yeah.
right?
That's not bad.
Just, I can't even picture, though. That scene was, because at least with hockey, like I was at the Penguins practice Wednesday. We were all clueless, myself included. And I'm asking them questions, like Brian Dumoulin. We got into a good conversation about their breakouts the night before in Newark. And then they were just gone. And in baseball, you actually just watched it unfold. Like, I'm half expecting that you to text me at any point that after 5 or 6
I
innings,
was
they were
half
just gonna leave the
expecting
field.
to text it or put it in a live file or whatever was going on. Pirates were weird in the sense that they played Tuesday on the road. The way that it worked out was Monday night, after we had finished everything that we needed to do that day, we were told that the clubhouse was unavailable to media going forward. And
Which was standard protocol at this point. in
yeah, it was
sports,
standard
right.
protocol at this point. And that wasn't from the Pirates, that was from Major League Baseball.
Right.
And then Tuesday, there was a game in Lakeland, which I don't know how many people have gone down to spring training. That was my first game in Lakeland. That drive is just as bad as everyone has ever said.
It is
terrible.
far.
So
And a lot of traffic and Disney traffic and everything else.
yeah, it wasn't enjoyable.
I did warn you.
Yeah, you did, in fairness. But the way that worked out is, we got Shelty in the morning, and then
This would be Derek Shelton, the new manager.
Yeah.
See what happens when you're at spring training the whole time?
we're best friends now. And then the game went on, and it was a pretty uneventful game. So I think they only brought Derek Holland out to talk afterwards.
Right.
Which nobody really needed anything. We all had features lined up for that day anyway.
And then
there was nothing Wednesday, and then Wednesday night, NBA is the first domino to fall, and you get to work on Thursday, and we talked to Josh Bell and
Chris
Chris
Archer was there.
and Gerard Dyson, a couple veterans who have been around for a bit, and they were talking like, we don't know what's going to happen, but I think everyone kind of knew what was going to go on. And so whenever news kind of broke in the 5th or 6th inning, it really wasn't a surprise to anyone.
baseball players are, by their very nature, uniquely aware, I think, in the world of professional sports. I say this with immense respect to the other sports, but like in the hockey world, it's this. I don't feel bad about the Wednesday discussions that I had in Columbus with the Penguins, because they were in the same place. They're not, reading up and looking around and whatever else here. They're smart. This isn't a reflection of intelligence or whatever. It's just that you're so locked in. Plus, the Penguins were in season. The Pirates were still playing great football. I could very much see where the Pirates would have had any number of guys in that clubhouse that are exceptionally aware, making sure that everybody else understood what was going on too. And Archer probably stands. Archer, Trevor Williams, guys like that probably stand out.
J-Mo.
Oh, yeah. Actually, him probably at the top of the list.
Yeah.
That would be Jameson Taillon, for those who didn't spend all spring training
Best friends too.
down there. One of the things we're going to be doing on the new, improved, whatever, Morning Java is, in addition to putting Roberto back together, is coming up with topics on which we don't necessarily agree. Not going to force these things or whatever. So actually, I didn't even tell you what this topic was going to be. as we go into this. But
This is true.
But I have noticed from your writings that you seem to feel very strongly about minor leaguers receiving pay.
Yes.
Talk about that.
The way that Major League Baseball is set up is that you don't get paid during spring training. You get a per diem. You get
Nobody
housing.
does.
Yeah, nobody does. You get a per diem. You
Mike
get
Trout
housing.
doesn't get paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
But minor leaguers especially are the most vulnerable because they don't get paid during the regular season as much as
Nowhere near
anyone.
as much.
Nowhere, not even in the same stratosphere.
It's roughly I believe that the average is, when you're talking about the minor leagues for the most part, by the way, you're talking about the upper minors in terms of this sort of thing, because the ones that are in the lower minors are legit prospects for the most part in most organizations. So they're going to have, they have their parents and stuff. Mm-hmm. But the ones that are in the upper minors are older. That this is their living. And it's $500 a week, roughly.
Yeah, it's nothing. And it doesn't look like anyone's going to get paid. Not just Pirates, just across baseball. And that's wrong. I don't know how you can go to these guys and say, I know you just put in a whole off season worth of work, but now you're going to go home. Don't know whenever we're going to need you again. Mm-hmm. Good luck living.
Or, let's compound this. Go home means one thing to the dude who's from Oklahoma or whatever. It means something else entirely when it's someone from the Dominican Republic or Venezuela. Are you really sending them back? Can you send them back? What if you're sending them back to a place that, and this hasn't happened yet, that is more prone to this virus?
And Charrington made that a point on Monday, that a lot of players in Pirates camp, minor league camp, and in the Dominican Republic have gone home, but some of the places that are more in danger,
they're housing them in Pirate
Yes.
City where they know it's safe and they can keep it clean and everything else. I have a tough time with this issue because these players and their unions sign labor agreements.
There is no minor league union.
Well, there isn't?
There isn't.
I thought there was.
Nope.
MILBPA?
Nope.
No, I didn't know that.
There are too many. I mean, it was, they thought about it for a bit. It's like there are too many, teams in Wyoming that you would never actually be able to unify.
Williamsport crosscutters and all that stuff. No union.
No union.
Well, why? What is wrong with them?
Too many
Who would
people
organize it? Major League Baseball makes sure of it, I'll bet.
You wouldn't have been able to pass something like the Save America's Pastime Act if there was a union.
Okay. Oh, that. Yeah. Well, that's another issue.
That's another way of highway robbery.
I don't know. I do know this, and this is as close as I'll come to making a case against it. I'm leery of the idea that right now you're seeing a whole lot of, especially on social media, everybody wants all the companies to spend all the money on everything. And that really first came up with the arena workers in the NHL and the NBA. It's like, who's going to pay them? Who's going to pay them? One team, the Calgary Flames, just said, not us. The Winnipeg Jets told their people, when we have games, you'll have games. When we have events, you'll have events. Those events could be delayed or postponed or whatever, but at some point you're going to get this money. That was very unpopular, even with their own fans and everything else. So I worry when I see something that starts looking like a crusade. They signed up to play minor league baseball, Alex. They knew what they were getting into.
Yeah, and they also, even though it's literally only going to be a couple thousands of dollars over the course of the year.
Or more, but yeah.
Yeah, most of them are going to be in that 5 to 10K range. That's money they're not getting.
Yeah, I know.
That is the absolute bare minimum, I think,
Devil's
you could
advocate,
give right
though,
now.
again, they could have gone into another line of work. It's minor league baseball. They chose it. With
that mindset, then Mike Trout has no one to play against whenever he's in A-ball.
Yeah, those are prospects. It's different. Most of those.
Well, who is he going to play against?
I know. No.
You need Joe Schmo, the 26-year-old single-A catcher who's in it just for the love of the game, to keep the game going.
I get it, but the love of the game can come at a cost too. And unfortunately, this we definitely can agree on. I wish none of this happened and everybody was just doing swimmingly, but that's not the world we're in right now. Earlier in the week, we had an interloper, an intruder, onto our Java set. Just randomly showed up here.
That sounds pretty inconsiderate.
That's right. I don't know who this individual was. But he just name-dropped Luke Maley and then just was chased off the set by me and Carter.
Probably more Carter, but...
It was probably more Carter here. It's going to be a shortened season, and that makes me think of Luke Maley and the depth that the Pirates have, and or the lack of depth that they have. I wonder if a shortened season doesn't help them. Just for 2020, assuming it's 2020 season matters. Never mind in the biblical sense, just in the baseball sense.
I mean, it could. I mean, you look at someone like Chad Cole and Edgar Santana, and throw Nick Birdie into that mix.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, those are three guys who are all coming off major surgeries, maybe would have to have their workload innings limited. Mm-hmm. This is a very natural way for that to happen. I mean, if Santana and Birdie are on top of their game with a healthy Crick and Kelleback, that is as good a back four.
I've never once heard you mention those guys without throwing Blake Cederland into the mix. Congratulations to you on having advanced past the Blake Cederland phase.
Oh, just wait till
training.
September.
Oh, I know. When he's going to be up throwing 110 miles an hour
yes.
with movement and 5 billion spin rate and whatever.
Whenever the gold locks start flowing. And
all that stuff. This team, I'm going to be a lot harsher about this. Mm-hmm. What unraveled the 2019 Pirates was the abysmal, atrocious lack of depth. The moment their first tier went down, we saw Clay Holmes and Davidas Neverauskas and all these other guys exposed basically for what they were. I mean, you want to bury them going forward or whatever, but certainly what they were in 2019.
Under that coaching system.
Yeah,
especially.
I'm not about to pin those two on Ray Searage, but there's a lot of things that Uncle Ray's getting exposed for now, but not on those two, because they were still throwing all over creation whenever I was down there. So
yeah,
these guys. My point is that they were exposed. Their depth was exposed, and the fact that Neil Huntington and Kyle Stark had developed virtually no minor league system over the course of a decade was laid bare for everyone to see. Ben Cherington wasn't going to walk in and change that. Certainly not something like a minor league system. That's just impossible.
That takes time.
The instruction can be better and everything else here. I just still think that a shorter schedule benefits them.
Well, let's take the very literal sense in this. Mm-hmm. Where were the Pirates at the All-Star break?
Oh, there you go.
Year?
There you go.
2.5 games.
2.5 games out of first place.
Same in 2018.
One
same
game
in
under
2017.
500.
Same
were right
in
there.
2016. They were in the mix.
And not only were they in the mix, but they were really like competitive. Remember, they were jumping up and down and all these comebacks and rallies, and they're like, we'll show everybody and all this other stuff. And then the pitchers got hurt. And then bad pitchers came to replace them. And if you'll recall, the hitting kept going for a little while, and then they got tired of swinging the bats.
That was some good baseball,
we came into. It was for a while, and then everything went completely south. I just think that this team, the way it's constructed, can't afford anything remotely resembling a significant injury. Never mind a wave of injuries. And the fewer the games, the fewer the possibilities for that. Not
to mention more of the small sample size wonkiness that you normally get.
Especially in baseball, more than any other sport, We're going to close this segment. I swear, I had picked Matt Capps. This is for you, Cappy. We were going to wash your hands. We don't know what happened to it. How did he lose his hand?
Without the hand, it kind of looks like he's flicking you off, but...
Right, and he's like the nicest guy. You're like the nicest guy in the world, and here he is with no hand. These are things that you find out the hard way sometimes. At any rate, we can do like a... End this.